What's up guys, this is Sean and today we are in Tropicana Metropark. This is somewhat like an update to our very previous visit on Pandora. I think it was like 2 years ago already. At that point the park was almost done and there were still foundations for the remaining new blocks. This is the connection directly connecting to the Federal Highway. So the experience of arrival was not very pleasant back then. But somewhat this has been completed. What we can see now is a 4-lane highway. So that's pretty sweet because after you come in from the main highway, whoa! Yeah, so even the public transport is already using this access. It means that it's part of a very efficient route. As we mentioned before, mountain, river means connectivity, and this is one of those elements. Now let's go to the sales gallery first before we go and enjoy the 9.2 acres park. Okay guys, so this is the entire 88 acres of Tropicana Metropark. So this is the access from Federal Highway. Everything on the left here will all be part of the master plan. So we have visited this one. This is called Pandora. Then we have Paloma. Then we have Paisley. In accordance to their sales performance, these two blocks are fully sold. Only remaining this one is like still clearing, but it's going to be repeat on January next year. This is the jewel of the entire site, the 9.2 acres landscape. Then this is the Residences South. To me, in the master plan development, right, it's very important to observe a few things. Number one is the public areas. Number two is the hardscape and landscape. How do they treat the access between the public area and the residences? How do they demarcate in terms of privacy, what is open, what is not? So we'll check the element later. Now let's go check out Residences South first. Okay, we've been to so many different sales gallery, right? And it's very rare to see a scale model that is so huge. So this is Residences South, and that's the residential portion. That's the car park layers, and that's like 2.5 stories of retail. So the developers has mentioned that the ground floor on this side will be fully owned by the developer, which include an upcoming grocer on this side. So now you have the upper floors of retail shops up for sale as well. So that's the back. This is the front facing the lake itself, and this will be amazing. And then there will be the residences. The main thing to look out for in a mixed development is the access between the retail as well as the residence. So for shops, something to look out for, it's very important to not only look at the main area of the shop, you need to have accessory parcel as well. So accessory parcels are for example, this is the corridor you walk, right? These are the areas where you can actually place your table and chairs if you are running a retail business especially. This spot owns by this spot owns by this. So there's a demarcation of area on whose accessory parcel is this. So that is the kiosk areas. So imagine if people just walk around a park and everybody can just come in here, and this will be the main area for the F&B, grocers, barbers, and etc. So in this floor plan, what I like is this loading bay. So it's very important, right? Instead of loading things up front at the entrance, so there's something to take note as well as a mixed development. This is the facility deck plan. It's pretty standard because it's all set by the government authorities on what needs to be provided lah. I like the basketball court. I like the infinity edge. This looks very similar to the Paloma, the Pandora approach. So if you're uncertain on what the end product will look like, you can just make an appointment to go and check out their existing project to evaluate and to gauge the degree of finishes for their common areas. Now we're going to check out the show unit, and something to take note that it's a freehold land. That's nice. And the unit that we're going to check out today is this Type B studio unit, where this is the entrance lah. So when you go in, there will be a study area tucked on the side. Then there will be your kitchen, a pretty compact layout where your dining and living is almost in one area. Then you have the aircon latch. I think this is the access to it. Then there will be this bedroom area with your bathroom. So I don't know whether is this a shared one. Let's go check it out later. First impression, there's always a debate whether to give access to this bathroom openly. So let's say if you have a guest, they don't need to really access your bedroom first before going into your unit. So reaching the unit, there'll be a foyer here before the entrance, right? That's something I like, where you can actually put up your shoe cabinet. Okay, let's go check out the unit. Coming into the unit, you will have a kitchen tucked on your right and this new layout of study rooms tucked on the left. So at this corner, I'm not sure whether how, I think it's fine. I think it's still a very good effort on maximizing space. If not, usually this will be your storage area. So before we proceed, right, something to take note that this layout per floor plate is 22 units served by 4 lifts and 1 fire lift. So most likely the refuse chamber will be around here in the center. Only the corner lots will have a little bit more windows. And you can see this is a very efficient focused layout where it's meant to cut down costs. So based on the conversations that I had with the team just now, majority of the buyers are actually from Subang Jaya itself. This location is somewhat like an extension of Subang Jaya, and because of that, a lot of parents actually buy these properties for their children because they want to keep their children close to them so they can summon them whenever they want, right? Come home and eat dinner. Anyway, so next to the study room, this is the kitchen. And due to space constraint, there's no yard space. There's no storage space, so it's either what you do with this area. So the dedicated washer dryer area is this side. Cabinets are provided. There will be a hood and hob here by Tika. Make sure to check with the sales staff on what will be provided during the sale. So if I don't want the fridge, what can I get? Is this part provided? Questions like this needs to be asked because the size of the unit is rather compact. So every inch somewhat matters. And quite obviously, this is too good to be provided. This is going to be a very young couple that stays here. Hence the dining table setting is also very compact, very cozy, 2-seater. And the best part about this is the budget, because this is around 300-ish to 400 over 1,000. How I look at this building among the development, right? If you're a person who is thinking about providing for your family, you need more rooms, you can go for Paisley. This building itself is to build mass population, where you have the grocer, where you have the retail. So for younger crowd who prioritize convenience over privacy, then this would be your choice. And I'm not sure whether is this treatment going to be like that on the actual unit, because this is so good looking. So this will be your living room, and the ceiling height is 10 feet, and the width of the living room from this wall to this wall is around 3 meters. So you will have the view, either you choose to look at the park or you want to look over to Shah Alam area on the other side. There will be an access here to your aircon latch area. Moving on, going into the principal bedroom, it's a very nice space. You can fit a queen size bed easily. Then there's like bedside table with your wardrobe space. Then there's the principal bathroom. But let's say if there's a guest who is in the house, they need to use a washroom, they need to come in and check out your bedroom before going into your bathroom. They separate out the shower, they separate out the WC. So this seems to be the trend for bathroom nowadays, where 2 persons can use the bathroom at the same time. But I'm not sure this should be transparent or not with that intention. And let's check out the specs. So this is Johnson Swiss WC. Johnson Swiss. And there will be a window on this side for natural ventilation. So full tiles up. And I wish, I'm not sure, but please check with the sales staff when you're here. I wish that this would be the exact finishing for the toilet. Please do take note that your bedroom flooring is not laminated timber. It's going to be tiles. So this will be the window size. It's not full height, as there's a 2 feet gap between the top and the bottom. So my question now is, without this sliding door, how will it affect the actual look of the space itself? So imagine without this panel, right? It's still fine, I guess. Oh yeah, they also provide aircon. That's good. So I think that's all. A pretty straightforward unit, compact, functional for 2 people. Just nice, around 3 to 400,000. But now I'm more excited in checking out the parks and the connection from the park to the site itself and the overall infrastructure treatments. Hey guys, so this is the crown jewel of the entire park itself. That's Pandora, that's Paloma, that's Paisley. And from a human scale, because when we look at the model, like so narrow, but on actual real life, it's nice. What's also important to take note is the safety issue regarding the width of the pedestrian walkway. Whether can it accommodate both a bicycle and 2-person, 3-person run at the same time? Is it possible? How to make sure that the pedestrians are safe from traffic? So they actually use landscape treatments like this to somewhat form a barrier physically so the humans won't go over to the roads, right? But then another challenge for landscape is also you cannot be too dense. You cannot have trees that is so compact, right? You can't even see. So if you walk to a park, you don't have high visibility, right? You're also scared. So that's the science for township development. Like this kind of trees, it has that foliage at this level where it's just nice a human height can walk through, right? Most of the time they will use this tree, they will use some bushida. The park is pretty big, so they have this windmill and they have structures like this for you to just interact and play around. But what I want to emphasize is this. This is the boundary between the residents and the public area. What you can see is that there's a wall, there are fencing, but what I really like is the softening touches using landscape treatments. So you will have hibiscus here, right? So it's a very hard form of landscape that provides that safety barrier. Then they will have some eugenias here to have that volume, somewhat provide some privacy for the residents. If we are just walking around here, you enjoy the trees, you enjoy the architecture, right? But there's no way for a person to actually climb up easily. Then landscape is also an interplay between softscape and hardscape. So it needs to be in a balance because you don't want to have too much grey elements, like a lot of stones, a lot of concrete, a lot of pavements, right? But too much plants also you have their own problem. In this park as well, they have provided this kind of equipment for you to work out. And this is usually when people just want that fresh air and something to really play about, because every development you will have your own gym room. So this is the new Paisley that is going to be VP in like 2 to 3 months time, which is like January, February 2021. That's exciting. So nature element, relaxation elements is there, residents there. So now what's lacking is the commercial activities, a place to just grab lunch, grab coffee, meet a friend, right? So that will be South residences and the shops. So when that is up, this will be pretty exciting to hang around. So in this township itself, I think there's 2 great catalysts that somewhat will make this look address relevant. Number 1 is the accessibility via the federal highway, right? The second one will be this international school by GEMS. So the entire facility can accommodate up to 2,400 students. Currently, the principal updated is around 600 plus students now. For kids who are living in Metropark, everything is a walking distance away. So imagine, right, the friends and families all stay in the same area, they play together, and when they go out and eat, they will still bump into each other. So that's pretty exciting and fun. I think that's all for the tour. It's now time for Sean's take 3 on 3. 3 things I really like. Number 1 is the execution ability of the developer. Because since the very last visit, it has only been 2 years and you have seen Palomang being completed, Paisley almost being completed, the school is up and running. The hardest task of all to me would be to get approval from Federal Highway turning into this township itself, and the highway costs a lot of money. Besides that, the ability to empty out 9.2 acres for a park like this, right, and to maintain it. Following on that, point number 2, it's the product positioning of Residences South and Shopee or shops. Now what's lacking in this master plan is actually commercial elements as well as lifestyle elements. Lifestyle meaning if you're a person who prioritize convenience, prioritize efficiency, you don't really need a lot of rooms, you don't really need big space at home. Residences South seems to be in that category, where you go downstairs, you can get all the convenience you need lah. And most likely this is going to be the place for all of the residents to hang out. And what we discussed with the team as well, a lot of parents from Subang Jaya are buying this location. Because of that proximity to Subang Jaya, they look at this, right? This is SS17 1 street away. That's how they describe this location. Thirdly will be the landscape treatments. Besides the landscape treatment within the unit, like most likely the facility deck is always the best canvas for landscape architects to do their thing, right? Now it's even extended out to these common areas. So if you just look into this, right, what I like is how humane the designs can be. Like the levelings are done really right. Everything is designed to a human scale where the tree height, like the visibility, right, I can still see everything without shading my visibility. There's a clear demarcation between bike lanes as well as pedestrian as well as the roads. Then they use a lot of hardscape, integrating it with softscape, and you have a cat as well. Yeah, what I'm most amazed with is the integration of boundary between the residents as well as the common areas. Because this is a very tough thing to do in this township, is clearly demonstrated. Okay, the three things I don't like. Number one is the first impression from a distance. If I'm just driving from the Federal Highway, right, it looks pretty dense. But when you come to the site and you really feel the site, right, the surrounding only consists of huge factories as well as some single-story houses and luxury bungalows. Point number two is the immediate surrounding. Yes, we must acknowledge that this site itself is not a very attractive site to begin with. There's a lot of industrial areas, and when your development size is 88 acres, right, there comes to be utility things for compliance. Hence, right in front of Paloma, there's a substation right there in front with all the factories. But that's after the boundary of the development. Anything within the boundary, right, I think the developer has tried its best. Hence, the strategy of having the 9.2 acre park in the center means that it will be the center of attention. And last of all, this is both a good and bad. Like, from good means a lot of future developments that's upcoming in the pipeline. So it will be very exciting when there's a new mall, for example, there's a new commercial area, for example, there will be a new office tower, for example, right? So that's very exciting for the residents or investors, because there are room for capital appreciation. Not so good for people who are living here, then you will have that constant construction noise around. Like now, no construction, it's very serene, very quiet. But during the office hours or operation hours of construction, right, there will be a lot of construction noise when you do piling especially. And I think that's all for this episode, right? It's a good update since Pandora time. So this house has definitely grown a lot. And one observation is that a lot of people are living in. If you really like this episode, like it, share it, and even subscribe for more information like this. Until next time, this is Sean Tan. Ciao.